here we have the stablecoin issuer Ethena, so the ticker is ENA. Again, this is the MEXC pairing. If you click the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen and go to there and make an account, you can get some nice trading bonuses. So yeah, check that out. In terms of the chart, this isn't one I particularly trade much, if I'm perfectly honest, but it's an interesting chart nonetheless. So we will go in and mark our all-time high and our all-time low. And it is very wicky, this, isn't it? So looks an interesting ticker nonetheless. So what do we have on the monthly? So we've got a level there. I'll make that line white. What do we have? There's an interesting level there. You've got a level there at 26 cents. And I think that's probably, yeah, that's about it. So we'll go in. I'm just going to write M to speed this up because I can't be bothered writing monthly, even though it looks a lot cleaner. So we'll do that, and then let's have a look on the weekly. So what do we have? Interesting move. You've obviously got the pump up when Trump was elected. There's a level there on the weekly. There's a level there on the weekly. This one, I think for me, we can move up to encapsulate there. And similarly, this one I think makes more sense coming up and covering there. And this one we can come and move under there. So yeah, so interesting. And then a weekly there. Another one up here. One there. And then this one's an interesting one because that's where you have the reversal. So I think that's about it. So I will go through and just mark these on. So zooming in, is that covered everything? I believe so. Nothing's sticking out to me. Nothing's blindingly obvious. Actually, there is one that is there. That gives us something nice in the middle of this range. So I think before going down on the time frame, let's have a look at zones. So yeah, interesting. You've got the point of control here basically at the monthly. So I don't think we need to do too much there. And then an interesting zone there. So I'll just mark out a little box below. And then similarly, this area here, we can mark out with a box. And we can push down onto the daily. This thing looks very, very volatile. So probably explains why I don't trade this much, but it provides quite a lot of opportunity. So what immediately jumps out to me, you've got an interesting daily level there, which could be a fun entry. We've got this level here. What price action do we have over here? There's an interesting one there. I'm going to move up slightly just to give a bit more breathing space. Okay, right, so interesting. So you can see very much a mover in levels, this level here. So how would I play this? On this I would potentially look at, now we've seen this push down, I'd want to see how it reacts on this daily level. If it fails to hold, I'd then be looking maybe at a retest of this weekly and into this liquidity zone. There you may get a reaction and a move upwards. If we look at where the volume sits on this, in the short term. That's a horrible wick, by the way, isn't it? So yeah, so we see inside this zone you've got that, you've got this area here that's interesting, and then this area. So if I get this, I will put that there. I'll mark out a little box for this. We've got a potential back. You see that 6.3 is where it's bounced before. I think there's an interesting potential one here just below the monthly, if you were just below the daily, sorry, if you were looking for somewhere to have a nice trade reversal. Similarly, you have that there, but then you've got this big void here, so I'd be very, very worried if this began losing levels. I think, in all honesty, once you dip below this here is when it probably will get a little bit scary. We can put in another one there just in case. So some interesting zones to play. Not a ticker I particularly trade, but I can see the appeal of it because it does move quite nicely. Yeah, you can see, look at this, push up into this zone and then sell down, basically coming back to retest where we were for the news pump. Like most things, we had that big Friday pump into here, and it's just gradually sold off. So yeah, definitely want to keep an eye on and trade on MEXC using the link below.